to Talkin about sports, Carolina's #1 podcast. We're here at the Pack Millwork Neighborhood Grove, William Wilson, North Carolina military veteran, Hall of Famer. We're here. We've got a lot of stuff to go on. Mountaineer My Career on the side. Reggie Walker, parts unknown. Rumors of a new Carolina Panthers stadium, William Wilson. They're a hot topic going around town, or a new practice facility.
Yeah, practice facility.
So, what have you been hearing? I know you travel in very high service.
I mean, this kind of thing's been floating around forever. They've been talking about every 2 or 3 years, the practice stadium's going to move, the stadium's going to move. There's always something like that. Now, I don't think it necessarily would be a bad idea to have the facility down there. I mean, obviously, they call it the Carolina Panthers to serve 2 states.
Right.
So
I think they have a motto, something like that.
Yeah, so if the practice facility is in one area in one state and the games are played in another state, it really does solidify the whole mindset of it being a team for the Carolinas.
I'm wondering if it could be they build this, because the radio announcer Mick Mixon had alluded to the fact that, and I'm paraphrasing, that an attractive land, several hundred acres, is about to be purchased, and they'd mentioned new training facility, shops, mix of retail, some very big development akin to maybe Jerry Jones, the Patriots you referenced. Could that also do something to supplant maybe a training camp in Spartanburg?
I struggle with that only because, and normally I would say just Rock Hill's smarter because your fan base that's buying tickets are here.
Right.
The biggest portion of them are here. Now, you got training camp in Spartanburg. That's one thing. But Greenville is a very growing area.
Oh, yeah.
So that could be one of those things that really help boost that economy. You've got BMW there that can come on as a sponsor. Michelin may come on as a title sponsor.
Right.
You've got some big, heavy hitters with deep pockets that can sponsor that facility and really cover the note for a lot of that building.
And David Tepper, very connected with a lot of influential business people.
Oh, well, when you own an NFL team, you name any NFL team owner in the world or any sports owner in the world, they're connected with major organizations and sponsors. That just kind of goes.
And we talked about it all before the show went on. Jerry Jones built the Star in Frisco, Texas, with basically none of his own money, and it costs more to build than the current stadium that they play in. And that is the best training facility in maybe all of sports.
Yeah, but he also built, Jerry's World practically with none of his own money. That's how those kind of things go. Jay Richardson. I wasn't here when they built, Bank of America Stadium. It was Erickson Stadium when I moved here.
Right.
I don't know how that works, but I know Jerry gets all the benefits. He gets still getting tax benefits when he went and borrowed all that money to do those renovations. But, I think anytime you do something like that, NFL related, it's going to tie that together. It's going to bring in more infrastructure, more business, and it makes that area a better place to go.
So we need to get some real estate down there if we had some contacts.
I wouldn't, but because it's only going to be useful a certain amount of time.
Carolina Panthers, the money's not buying any wins lately. I think they've lost 3 in a row, including they hadn't lost to 10 since the last year. They hadn't lost a home game till Russ Wilson and the Seahawks came in and put it down on them last week.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Pittsburgh just demoralized them. I said, we'll see what's going to happen next game when they play Detroit. It's a winnable game. They should have
won Detroit.
The way they were playing before, they should be able to beat Detroit like Pittsburgh beat them. Then they lost to Detroit. Now I'm like, okay, I wonder now, is it starting to become a psychosomatic thing where it's in their heads that but maybe we aren't as good as we thought we were.
3 in a row, and I thought Detroit, and I have no problem with Coach Rivera going for 2. You're going for the win. Your kicker has been in a slump, and it proved again this weekend that he's in a slump. Yeah. Detroit's kicker is one of the best in the league. So if you tie the game with a minute to go with Matt Stafford and probably one of the best kickers in the league playing indoors, I don't like your chances. So I think going for the win was the better option, but it didn't work. You rolled snake eyes.
Well, but there's an old rule, go for the win on the road.
Cornerback, and I said this on CBS Sports Radio this week with Rich Ackerman on Eye on Football. Mm-hmm. I thought the injury to Dante Jackson at corner, he had to come out of the game with a quad injury. That brought in Reggie Walker's guy, Corn Elder, who was drafted, his second-year guy, no career starts, who's basically their 6th DB, all of a sudden becomes their 5th guy because Captain Munderland was in the slot, covering Lockett and Baldwin. So David Moore, who had the game-tying touchdown on Corn Elder, I think was exposed. So depth at corner. If Dante Jackson can't go this weekend, I think 2 winnable games coming up, a better than before Cleveland Browns, and Tampa Bay is still an up and down. You don't know what you're going to get with Tampa Bay.
Well, Carolina has always, I don't think they've been deep in corner from the beginning. I don't think they've ever been deep in corner. I think they've had average corners.
James Bradbury, one of those, has having a great year, by the way, but he's by himself.
He's having a great year, but I don't think he's an elite corner yet. He may be, but I don't want to call him an elite corner yet.
There's 32 guys that are starters. Well, there's 64 that are starters. I think he's in the top 20.
He may be, but I don't think people are game planning against James Bradbury. I don't think they were game planning against
Dante Jackson.
Dante Jackson.
Oh, yeah, right.
I just don't think
they're going to game plan for Cornelder if he's in the lineup. I'll bet you that.
Of course, that's what you do. I mean,
Russ Wilson saw that go. He went right after it, right away.
But Russell Wilson, I wouldn't surprise me if Russell Wilson wouldn't win at him anyway. I don't think Dante Jackson, Freddie Jackson, Janet Jackson, Stoney Jackson, anybody in Jackson on the Paris roster scares people.
You gonna drop the Jackson 5 on us? I mean, any 5 Jackson?
I almost created a Jackson 5 for you. I don't think they scare the elite quarterbacks.
Right.
Especially Drew Brees when he comes to the town.
He's licking his chops now.
Not scared of any corner Carolina has.
Carolina finishes Saints, Falcons, Saints. And I think Drew Brees can't wait to pad some stats.
Yeah, I don't think he will either. But they will go with Elder because it's a smart thing to do. Now, the D coordinator, Eric Washington, may come around and try to do some things to kind of hide that. Maybe put a shadow cover on him to kind of give
roll the
Elder
safety
some help.
Maybe Eric Reed coming over.
Yeah, some things like this may help. But then again, Eric Reed.
Reggie's in the bunker and watching. Your boy Cornelder is getting lit up like a Christmas tree. By the way, Reggie, that's what we're talking about right now.
Now, here's the concern I got. Eric Reed seems to be getting an unfair amount of
I was going to bring that. I was going to mention that. Will, I forwarded you something. You already knew it, but Eric Reed, since being with Carolina, has been subjected to 6 random drug tests. Now, how random can they be if he gets them every week?
Yeah, that's not a random. That's just the league is still trying to make a point to this guy. They don't like the fact that he was kneeling. Apparently they had their good old boys network where the guys who were kneeling weren't going to get, or the faces of the kneeling weren't going to get signed. David Tepper said, I don't care, I want a football player. This guy can feel it. He brings it in. So now the league's saying, okay, we can't depend on David Tepper to do our dirty work for us.
He's not with us, is what you're saying.
Exactly. So let's find another way to punish this guy. But the thing is, what's going to happen though, at some point, no matter how dirtily, dastardly you are, because we live in a social media world, an instant impact, instant media world, the word is going to get out. People are going to start talking about it. What's going to happen, even the people that don't like Eric Reed for this, they're going to say, you know what, I don't like this guy, but that's not fair.
We talked about it. I mean, this is not the forum to discuss this, but when they had the military appreciation here, he was one of 2 guys that went over and thanked and talked to and put his arm around military active and retired people, by the military people.
But here's the thing to it, and if people get upset with me about this, so be it.
You're a veteran.
Yeah, I'm a veteran. I'm a Hall of Fame veteran.
I know.
For that matter.
I did point that out at the open.
Now, for people who don't want to still make this about for the flag, they're doing it. They're willfully ignorant. They're wanting to do this because they want to. They want to not like this for their own reason.
Right.
So no one doesn't know the reason behind this. So people should be surprised that Eric Reed went over and shook veterans' hands.
Right.
This was never an anti-veteran thing in the first place. Now, I find it ironic that he's one of only a couple who did. Why didn't the whole team go over? But then again, let's just face it. The NFL is full of a bunch of pomp and circumstance.
Now, I'm going to make a point here. Now, to my knowledge, Eric Reed has never been arrested for any domestic issues. And to my knowledge, he never has. I think I'm right about that. Do you agree with me? You don't. To your knowledge, he's never been arrested for any.
To my knowledge, no.
Now, my Washington Redskins have signed Reuben Foster. They claimed him off waivers. Now, he does have some issues. Now, why is it? And I don't know the answer to this because I'm not an NFL front office guy, but Eric Reed's a talented guy. He's a starter in the NFL. Why did it take him so long and Reuben Foster can get claimed right off waivers after just getting arrested for a domestic incident after having some in the offseason? That seems I don't get the logic here.
We know the whole deal. We know what this is. There's a political statements being made, and we know this. And the NFL doesn't care anything about domestic violence. They pretend they do. They had that one year they had the commercials where all the players just sat quietly in the commercial, Eli Manning and all this stuff.
Was this coming off the Greg Hardy? Was this coming off that?
All that whole deal, and then it kind of disappeared. October, NFL is pink everywhere.
Which D'Angelo Williams got fined for wearing pink stuff,
right?
By the way.
But you see, because if D'Angelo Williams wrote them a check, he wear all the pink he wants to.
Right.
Because on all the Coleman Foundation, all this other stuff.
But all the players are wearing that stuff and making money by selling the pink stuff now.
Now, like I said, because they're selling it for the NFL, they're making money off of it. NFL don't care about women at all. They don't care about breast cancer. They don't care about domestic violence. One's writing a check, the other one isn't. But it's like the military. For somebody they claim to be so pro-military, if you're that pro-military, stop charging the Department of Defense for flyovers. Stop charging them when you start doing these military things, these ceremony stuff for free.
Yeah, I would like to think that put some recruiters in the stadium, and then let's don't charge the taxpayers. The United States military defends our freedom. By the way, you know that, Will.
Welcome, Nate and Brenda Bristow.
Oh, that's my man Nate Bristow down at Tommy's Auto and Diesel in Walterboro, South Carolina.
Okay, big shout out to you.
I love Nate
and Devin Featherstone. And there was somebody else I saw. I forgot to name them.
I love Nate.
Fitz and Wayne Durham.
I love Nate. I think he needs to get Gruber back to work. Gruber was his son. He was my son's teammate in college, man.
Yeah, we got Matt Bowles, Joan Carter, Luis Hernandez. We got people in the
Gruber's
house.
in bad shape. He's relying on my son to help him with studying because he didn't finish. But that's a whole nother story. I'm just saying, you got to be. Well, I mean, the bottom line is Gruber got a degree. I don't know how.
He was under the bus.
He was like me in college. He was only as good as the person next to him. That's all I can say. Hey, did you see that deal with Baker Mayfield and Hugh Jackson?
I think more was made of it than it should have been.
I think Hugh Jackson's a good football coach, but he didn't win any games. And he did join the enemy after getting fired, which is his prerogative.
But no, here's my thing. Welcome, Attorney Burgess. Here's the thing: if you fire me, I have no problem. If I fire you, and you go to my enemy, I don't have a problem with that because I fired you. I made you an enemy. If your contract ends, you decide to go somewhere else. That's something different.
Okay.
But I looked at you and told you, you're not good enough to be in my program. Get out. Now, if you go to my enemy, I have no problem with that because you open that door up for that. Now, I kept hearing people talk about the Baker Mayfield snubbed him and everything.
I like Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback.
I do too. But I looked at the video. I didn't see what everybody was talking about. I think we tried to make much ado about nothing. But a good friend of mine, Chris Smith, the defensive end for the Browns.
Right.
He's posted a couple things on Instagram. Just the locker room feels different.
That's pretty much what Baker Mayfield was saying.
Yeah, the locker room feels different. The team feels different. They feel like they can win. They feel like there's a different.
They are
team
winning,
walking on the floor. Yeah, but they feel like they can win versus feel like they're going to play a game, and that's making a change. Now I don't know how much of that is Baker Mayfield. I don't know how much is the new coach. I don't know how much of a combination of the two.
It's the interim coach Greg Williams, who was suspended by the NFL for a year for throwing the. He was part of that New Orleans bounty deal, and he was the former head coach of Buffalo, and a very respected defensive coordinator, hard-nosed. Taskmaster kind of guy, but apparently the locker room's a little bit looser without Coach Jackson there with Coach Williams in charge.
And that's good, but we just got to make sure let's not give him a Hall of Fame too quick.
Oh, no.
Give him a Super Bowl too quick because
not going to get there this year.
Well, you get that burst of adrenaline, then you get punched in the mouth a couple of times. You may go back to who you are.
Yeah, they're one of 12 teams that have never been to the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era.
My Cowboys aren't one of those teams.
No, and because there was a Jeopardy question. This team is still one of the year is 2030, and this team is one of the teams that has not gone to the Super Bowl on Jeopardy. And the answer was the Detroit Lions. So it could have been the Browns. It could have been packed house at the Dilworth Grill. Come join us. We're going to take a break. We got Hornets. North Carolina's got a new football coach. Arkansas still bad. We're here at the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. This is Talking About Sports. You like how I got that in there?
I can't even.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed and unmatched customer service.
All right, welcome back to Talking About Sports. We're here at the Pack Dilworth Neighborhood Grill with William Wilson. Carolina at Tampa Bay this week, ACC championship here. That's why, of course, the schedule's already out. But Tampa Bay and Cleveland the next 2 weeks, I think both winnable games. You go 6-5. I think you can go 8-5. Come back with some momentum going into the really tough part of the schedule down the line. But Tampa Bay, a team that has scored a lot of points, gets a lot of yards every game. In fact, remember that game, the Rams and the Chiefs game, that Monday night game? They had like nearly 1,000 yards of total offense. The winning team had more than 500 and some yards in offense in that game.
I mean, no defense was being played.
Right. Tampa had more yards and more stats than either team that game, and still had 3 points. So that tells me Tampa Bay can move the ball.
They just can't move. They can't finish in the red zone.
That doesn't look like it right now. I don't think their running game is very solid. They have very good receivers and a good tight end. The defense is suspect and no running game, and I think instability at quarterback.
I agree, but I think this is a defining game for the Panthers. I don't think it's a make or break game, but I think it's a defining game of who they are, because after the Bucs, they will have played 2 subpar teams and 2 good teams.
Right.
So we can say they lost to Pittsburgh, as we've discussed. Lost to Pittsburgh, should have beat Detroit.
Should have.
Lost to Seattle. That's not a bad loss. They could win either way.
But it hurts in the tiebreakers down the line for wild cards.
Right. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about from a mindset, a mental mindset point. Now you're going to play Tampa Bay, who, again, you should beat. If they don't beat Tampa Bay, 'cause like you said, Tampa Bay can drive the ball, but they can't putt.
But and if you look, it's a division game. That's a different story than just a conference or you're playing an AFC team. Every year you play this team twice, and every year historically playing in Tampa Bay, Raymond James Stadium, they play Carolina tough. These are like 12-9, 9-7 kind of games that historically they playing the Bucs. So they have it's a tough game.
A 12-9, 9-7 game works into the Bucs' favor now, because they're not scoring a whole lot of points anyway. They're moving the ball, which means they're running a lot of time off the clock, but they're not moving the ball. And so this may come down to a game of kickers.
That's not looking good for Carolina these days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For years, Graham Gano has been, you just knew that was just money.
Well,
he's not walking on the field. You knew that was a field goal.
He's one of the top 5 paid kickers now. That may change this offseason. It may change before the offseason.
Right. Well, I mean, he'll still be a top 5 paid kicker. He just won't.
No, they brought in kickers this week to work out. That tells me that you're getting close to getting cut if they're bringing in other guys.
Yeah, that's one of the things I never thought I'd see happen with Graham Gano.
I never did either.
So it may come down to one of those types of games. And it's out. They play outdoors, so we'll see. But I mean, Carolina should win this game. Chris McCaffrey is playing really well.
He's really coming on.
Yeah, I talked to my buddy Larry Kennedy about this, because I was never really sold on Chris McCaffrey.
I wasn't
he was
either.
A good player, and I still don't think he's a great player. I think he's an extremely smart player. Chris McCaffrey, I think they overplay him. He's smart enough to not take a lot of hits.
Right. He does get out of bounds. He does get down.
He gets out of bounds. He ducks out. He slides out of the way. He's like he's almost like a running back that follows quarterback rules to not get hurt.
Now, I like how that Norvell Turner is employing him, Carolina's offensive coordinator, with Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. 3 guys, all pretty much the same height, weight, and relative in terms of speed. 2 are receivers. One's, I guess you would call a slot. Moore's a receiver. Samuels is a slot guy. And McCaffrey's technically a running back, but they're all interchangeable. They all come in motion. They all do a lot of the same. They have a very similar skill set.
Well, I can't say that because Chris McCaffrey doesn't scare someone lined out wide, and I don't think either one of the receivers scared anybody lined up as running back. It's a difference.
True.
I think that you can entertain, but I don't think either one of them scared them like that. I don't want to question Norv Turner, because Norv Turner has built Hall of Fame quarterbacks. He's a great offensive coordinator, so who am I to question him? But I don't necessarily like the fact of how much he uses Chris McCaffrey, because Cam has a tendency to build those safety nets, and the season will continue. He will just depend too much on McCaffrey, and if McCaffrey does get hurt, it'll take the Panthers 2 or 3 games to get back together.
Now, you mentioned
with this losing streak they're on now, they don't have those games to lose.
You mentioned Cam Newton. Statistically, he's having a very good year. I think he would definitely take back that late pick against the Seahawks this week, but he hasn't been doing that this year. I think the team in their 3-game losing streak, and granted he threw a pick 6 against Pittsburgh in the first quarter, but I think Cam Newton's not the reason this team has lost 3 in a row.
No, I'm not saying he is, but I think Cam has certain tendencies that you just know are going to happen, and he's depending on Christian McCaffrey's been his bailout guy, and it takes Cam a while to get comfortable trusting someone else to be his bailout guy.
Like Greg Olsen over the years.
Exactly. It took a while for me to get comfortable with Christian, so that's going to keep happening. Big shout out to Bobby Eason. Jeff Taylor is watching.
JT.
What's up, Jeff? JT.
Down in Columbia. I hope his son's still in school, Kevin Tolbert? Has he graduated yet? Or do we know? All right. Yeah. Make sure you study.
But I think this can kind of go either way.
His mom's smart, by the way.
I think if Cam Newton would have had North Turner 3 years ago, he'd be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. The difference between Cam Newton last year and Cam Newton this year, and Cam still has some room to grow.
True.
He's playing exponentially better. He's protecting the ball better. He's still taking more hits than he should, but not as bad. We really thought with that kind of
he has embraced the check down. Like Norvell Turner has convinced him, you don't have to go deep, you don't have to force it in there. Take the check downs and take the safe stuff.
Right, but I think Norv Turner knows how to use the guys on the line to the best of their ability.
It's not a very good line, but they're playing above their heads, I think.
Exactly. I don't know if they're playing above their head. They may just be better than we knew. They just needed the right chef cooking the food. Norv Turner walked in and said, okay, these guys' strengths. Let's use this. You're not good here. You're not here. Here's a technique to work on this. He made guys better. That's what Bill Belichick does. Takes average guys, makes them better. And that gives Cam time.
Do you know who the highest paid Carolina Panther offensive lineman is?
Ryan Khalil, I'd imagine.
Well, it's his brother, Matt. And have you seen Matt Khalil all year?
I have not.
No, he's been hurt at the beginning of the year, but I hear from people I know who are at practice, he's practicing and doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him, but apparently the guys that are in there now are, and Khalil's they gave him like a 5-6 year, $75 million contract, something like that. He's making a lot of money.
He backed up the Brinks truck, but Norv Turner,
they paid him instead of Norwell, who's now in Jacksonville.
Right, but the thing is, Norv Turner can come in. Norv Turner is one of those guys that walks in with the kind of respect and cachet. You don't question him. You can't. So if he says, you know what, I'm benching all these guys and I'm starting to back up quarterback, people are going to go, you know what, that's Norv. He's got a reason for this.
I wouldn't put that Sam Heineke in there. I know that.
But I'm just saying. But
I know what you're saying.
But you know what? But you wouldn't have thought this offensive line would hold up like it would have at the beginning of the season.
Good acquisition. That Clark guy they got picked up from Detroit right before the season started or something like that. A couple guys off the street. It's working.
Sometimes you know how good. No one knew Aaron Rodgers was as good as he was until he walked on the field. So something you don't know what Heineke may be. Big shout out to Lanny Forge tuned in.
Sports Talk, host of the Sports Talk guys.
And the Chuck Norris body double. David Chapman is in the building.
Love David Chapman.
And Linda Larissa Toms. Now the ladies are starting to come in. And YN Familia. Thanks for tuning in.
I watch Lanny's show when I'm working remotely. He and David Keefer do an excellent job breaking down. Really big in high school football. They do a lot of coverage on high school football.
That may be the one thing I know the least about. Lanny and football and badminton.
They're good. They got everything covered in that department. So I like keeping up with Lanny and the Sports Talk guys.
I've seen 2 high school football games in 15 years.
I've seen a lot of them. My son played on them, and we were good back in the day. Not me, but his son's team. My son's team was pretty good back in the day. You got a prediction for Carolina at Tampa Bay this week?
For some reason, I feel Tampa Bay is going to pull this out. I hope Carolina pulls it out, but I just don't know if they're fully committed. I think a lot of guys' heads are all over the place. So I just don't know mentally where they are right now.
I think Carolina's going to come out in convincing fashion and open a can on Tampa Bay. Now, you mentioned head may not be there. Or if Carolina somehow loses, our head's going to roll.
No. I don't think. I mean, whose head's there to roll? Your offensive coordinator's new, your defensive coordinator's new, and Ron Rivera's comfortable.
Is he comfortable? Should he be if he loses 3? He's lost 3 in a row, including one of his decisions that cost him a win.
Yeah, but I think overall, I mean, there's been plays that Cam threw bad passes. There are a couple missed field goals away from being a one-loss team. So I don't really think. I don't think he's as much in the hot seat as you could be. I don't think David Tepper wants to walk in right now and change a whole lot of things around.
I'm with you. I think Coach Rivera is a solid coach, well respected. The locker room is with him. He hadn't lost the locker room like Hugh Jackson did.
And who are you going to bring in?
Norvell Turner. You make him the interim coach to finish the year out. He's been a head coach, a bad one, I might add. Everywhere he's been a bad head coach.
So was Bill Belichick till he got to the Saints. Until he got to the Patriots.
That was only one place.
And now he's a Hall of Famer.
Norvell Turner helped set the Redskins back on a long journey that they haven't really gotten back on
That
yet.
may be so, but he helped the Cowboys win 3 Super Bowls.
All right, there you go. All right, we got got college football to talk about. The ACC championship game is this weekend. Players of the year, the North Carolina Tar Heels have a new head coach. Plus the Charlotte Hornets. This is Talking About Sports from the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed
Old
and
days.
unmatched customer service.
All right, welcome back to Talking About Sports. We're here with the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill with William Wilson and ACC Championship this week. Clemson, and do you know who they're playing, by the way?
Pittsburgh.
I never would have thought that. Beginning of the year, middle of the year, I never would have thought. I saw Pittsburgh play up at Wake Forest this year. Solid ball club. They got ranked after that game, but a solid ball club, not spectacular, but they do nothing great, but everything good. Yeah. Just solid, fundamentally sound football team.
They're like the team you play on your jersey. Like the Spurs were.
They were
never exciting. But we win a championship. They were never exciting, but they were fundamentally sound. They did the right things right. They were able to repeat it, and they could count on it.
Don't get me going. We're in bad shape. Paul Gasol's out indefinitely. We're going to the lottery this year, and that may be a good thing.
Suck now. I said you're going to win a championship when you're actually relevant.
I know. It's awful, but Lanny Ford listens, and I watch his show. He played at Clemson, and they're in there. And I think Clemson number 2. And if Alabama loses to Georgia this week, Clemson's going to be the number 1 team, but I think Alabama's going to win. But Clemson's going to be 2. Yeah. So Clemson coming in with I think his name Etienne, the running back player, the conference player of the year. Their defensive line too deep. Their too deep guys could start anywhere.
Clemson is a team of studs.
They're
just what they are. Just like Alabama's a team of studs. And I think as long as Dabo and Nick are there, these are two teams who will set to be the class of the field. That's who they're going to always be. That's who they're going to be. Clemson's going to lose to Alabama again in the national championship, and next year Clemson may beat Alabama in the national championship.
I saw something attributed to the PTI broadcast about Dabo Swinney may not have. Maybe people are. He wasn't enthralled by something, or could he leave because maybe he didn't like, or maybe there's the expectations or whatever. I think he did play at Alabama. He could be a guy down the line when Nick Saban retires at some point. Go there, maybe, but he can stay at Clemson and be the Nick Saban of Clemson and never do anything. Or maybe the NFL team comes in and says, hey, what Gruden got $10 million, we'll give you that.
Well, if I'm Dabo, the only way I leave Clemson is to go to the NFL.
Right.
I don't even entertain the conversation of another college program, especially Alabama. At Clemson, he's the man.
He is the man.
At Alabama, he's one of. He will never be past. But he will never be past Bear because now he's got to be past Nick.
I know.
And Nick
is already statistically in wins and championships past the Bear, but still the Bear was a cultural guy.
But the thing is, most people now don't know who. A lot of people now don't know who Bear Bryant is.
That's sad. But you're right.
In 10 years, Bear Bryant will be irrelevant. Let's just call it what it is. He will be irrelevant. Who talks about Red Auerbach anymore? Nobody. Who talks about John Wooden? Right. Nobody.
They should, but you're right.
They should, but right now, Nick Saban has replaced Bear Bryant in the lexicon. He's the top of the food chain at University of Alabama.
He is.
Unless you're over 50, and then it's still Bear Bryant. Dabo Swinney he's still playing in the same. He's coaching the same era as Nick.
Right.
He'll never be able to surpass Nick.
Speaking of Clemson, ACC legends are going to be honored at halftime. Joe Bostic. You met his brother Jeff Bostic at one of the celebrity golf tournaments. Joe Bostic played offensive line at Clemson and played for the St. Louis Cardinals. I played a round of golf with him at a practice round once. Very good. A lot better than me.
Well, everyone's a lot better than you, except maybe Kevin. The other Kevin.
Yeah, I knew I could count on you for a cheap shot.
How many Kevins does it take to make par?
I
All
figure.
of them.
Also, Mario Williams of NC State, #1 overall pick of the Houston Texans. Great guy. I talked to him, and introduced my son to him while we were working down in Houston. Great guy. Steve Spurrier from Duke, his Duke days, not Florida. Steve Justice from Wake. Ron Rusnak of UNC, if I pronounced that correctly. Now, speaking of North Carolina, they made a change at head coach. Larry Fedora out, not after a $12 million buyout, supposedly paid for by the Rams club, hopefully not the taxpayers. And Mac Brown comes back from
the next day. So you can see that was all set
I think that was lined up.
That
man.
was setting to work.
He gets 12. He gets like 12 mil for 5 years. So and Mac will bring stability. They said he was asked if they thought it was going to be a rebuilding process. He said no. I'm expecting to win next year, go to a bowl game next year.
But that's what you say when you walk in and you already have a national championship. But I think Mac Brown is a bridge coach. I think he's brought in to give stability back to the team, get them back in a winning way, make it easier to recruit till they bring in their next guy.
Do you think that a Mac Brown disciple, a guy who played for him or coached under him, could be groomed to be the next guy?
I think Mac Brown is going to hire his replacement. I don't know who that's going to be, but his replacement will come out of that coaching staff, and he will be hired for that purpose of taking over for Mac Brown.
One of his, a guy who played quarterback for him, Major Applewhite, I believe, is the head coach at the University of Houston right now.
And Major Applewhite is a stud. He's a stud football player. He got done kind of wrong with Chris Sims came to Texas. They just kicked him out of the way because he was Phil's son. And Major Applewhite was a stud then.
He was winning.
Exactly. He was winning. He knows football. He knows how to recruit. He can recruit in those southern areas. He can recruit places I think Larry Fedora probably couldn't. He can recruit certain talent that he couldn't. And he can go to Texas. He can go to Texas and keep recruiting, just like Mac Brown was doing. Texas, Louisiana,
right,
Oklahoma,
Florida.
He can bring some of those Florida. He can bring those studs out of there. I think, like I said, I think he's a bridge coach. Going to come in, get the program steady. Kind of like Lou Holtz was. Steady the program at South Carolina. Then Steve Spurrier came in and was expected to do better. Except I think Mac Brown's going to hire his own.
Lou Holtz didn't do so good at Arkansas. Or was he good?
He was okay.
Long time ago.
He was okay at Arkansas.
Does anybody recruit Arkansas much? I mean, there's usually a few guys.
It's a couple. We're not one of those states where people pull a lot out of. But we're keeping a lot of guys home now. I take that back. We get pulled out of because we're having a hard time keeping guys home for a while under Houston Nutt. Mm-hmm. Bielema is a little easier. I think under Chad Morris, it'll be a lot easier to keep guys home because we're playing a more spread pro style
entertaining
offense.
Style of football where guys, because I think, I've seen it for myself through my son high school and his recruitment process, more high schools are playing spread.
Yeah.
So you would think that a college coach has more of an opportunity to see spread players, see the tape, have his coaches go look at certain guys. You see the good spread quarterbacks, slot receivers, at least offensively. Defense is defense, and that's just good.
Yeah.
But I think even though I'm not a fan or an advocate of the spread offense, I think your scheme should match your personnel.
Exactly. That's why we're so bad. We won one game all season. That's why we were so bad. I was talking to John Daly about this, and I was ticked. I didn't like the hire in the first place. But we started talking. He kind of brought me off the ledge, if you will. He said, "No, we just don't have the players to do what he wants to do." He said, "Watch a couple of the games." I watched a couple of the games. I said, "You know what? He doesn't want to play. We don't have the personnel for it." Because Brett Bielema brought that old 1985 Ron Dane, Big Ten, 3 yards of cloud of dust, big fat lineman with no athleticism. So we ended up having the biggest line in football in high school.
They were big.
High school. We had for 2 years. We had the largest offensive line in a college or the NFL.
That's pretty big.
And we were still our guys get tackled in the
backfield.
backfield.
A lot of food down in Arkansas, apparently.
A lot of good
food.
But apparently there wasn't a lot of agility training.
And a lot of squirrels. By the way, how was your Thanksgiving? Do you have any squirrels at Thanksgiving? Did anybody cook any squirrels at
Kevin Tolbert, I hate you.
I was going to save that for later, by the way.
But no, I didn't have
Arkansas Thanksgiving is complete without some squirrels. I bet Malik Monk had some.
I stayed in the area. I went to my buddy Kevin Tolbert's house. Kevin Porter's house, and we had a beautiful dinner.
Where's he at? He hadn't checked in today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's Kevin Porter? He hadn't checked in.
I don't know. We got to find what's up with Big Kev.
I don't know, man. I tell you what, though, man. I think the big golf pay-per-view this week. Phil and Tiger had, and they did, but apparently they had some issues, and they're going to refund people's money they actually paid. It actually turned out to be pretty good. It went to extra holes.
Yeah, I had to leave to go to an event.
You tuned in to any of it?
I watched the first 18.
All right.
I actually had to leave before I saw the drives on 18, then I had to go.
Right.
Then my buddy was texting me, telling me what was going on after that.
I'd like to see John Daly in a pay-per-view where, you could drink and smoke and talk freely, so to speak. I'd love to see John Daly in a pay-per-view golf match.
I was very underwhelmed by the match. I was extremely underwhelmed. I like the idea of it, Tiger Field, but I want to see trash talking. Like, they talked a little trash here or there, but they really kind of, it was really
they got too many sponsors now. They're afraid to go off. I want to see John Daly out there letting it loose.
No, but
grip it and rip it.
But the thing is, the sponsors don't matter. It was pay-per-view,
right?
So you can say what you want. They could cuss. You can
yeah, they could have.
Do. I think I'd rather seen Ricky Fowler and Justin Day.
Well, they're all going to be in that deal in the Bahamas this week, where apparently it's like either the top 12, top 18 guys.
But that's not the same thing, though. I'd rather see those two guys, or John Daly and.
I want to see John Daly and Tiger Woods.
I think that'd be fun. I need to see some trash talk.
When I used to cover the what is now the Wells Fargo Championship, I would go out on the course and I'd follow a certain 2 or 3 groups, but I'd get to where and I'd watch the groups come in. The biggest galleries were Tiger Woods, in order. Tiger Woods, John Daly, Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
In that order. Right. John Daly had a bigger gallery than Phil did.
Right. But I think Tiger and John also get along better, and I think they don't have animosity with each other.
Oh no.
I think if those two took each other on, and John's gonna gamble.
Oh yeah.
And that's in John's.
And he's gonna drink.
I'd rather see
I think you could probably get Tiger drunk. Or try to.
John and Tiger or John and Phil.
What a contrast that would be.
John Daly would make this. That kind of stuff, that pay-per-view stuff, is made for John Daly.
It is, man. I was thinking that.
And that brings in the casual golf fan.
It does.
Because John's going to have his beer and his cigarette in his coat.
Oh, yeah.
Or his cigarette in his beer. He could very well be half drunk by the 9.
More than that.
He's going to say what he wants to say.
He's going to be putting balls on cans and on people's stomachs and hitting the ball off of them.
Yeah. John, and the people just love him. John Daly is built for showtime.
He's built like he's had a lot of beer.
Yeah, if John Daly was a wrestler, he'd be Ric Flair. He's built, or The Rock.
He'd be like he's Dusty Rhodes, man. He looks like Dusty Rhodes, though, man.
I'm talking about personality-wise. He's just
true.
Superstar Billy Graham.
Absolutely, man.
His personality. John Daly cannot win again and still have huge crowds because John Daly, real people who are golfers respect how good he is a golfer, but the average person who doesn't know anything about golf just can connect with John Daly. He's got demons. He's got problems.
You need to.
He's had issues.
Well,
and
but
he still just beats himself.
Everyone has issues, and he's the people's champ. That's what I'm saying. JD's he's your friend, and I like him a whole lot. He's the people's champ. You need to tell him to catch a replay of our show and maybe send in some video comments that Kevin Tolbert could put on how he loves us and how he loves how I'm talking great about him, and he's a big suey buddy of yours.
We had to write a check about that, but I will say this:
not
I just got my hair cut.
Mine are bouncing.
I just got my hair cut, and the guys at my barbershop want to come. They want us to come do one of these at the barbershop.
What's the name of your barbershop?
Trims or Twims. I don't know. I don't know the name of the shop.
We did one. There is precedent. We did one at was it Blade's Barbershop?
Right, but the guy who cut my hair, Udi, saw that. He was asking me about that. I thought I was going to do the show, and he and Eric Cheek, who's my other barber.
There's an expression from my friend Ted DiBiase. It's called "Everyone's got a price for the $1 Million Man." So for the right circumstances, we'll be at that barbershop.
So basically, they give us some wings and some pizza. We'll show up.
I'm not going to. That's above my very low pay grade right now. So I like that. But those guys at the Blades were pretty good, except those knuckleheads that like the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Well, I mean, ain't their fault. It ain't your fault. It is your fault. You picked the wrong NFC East team.
I didn't pick them there. That's a team. I grew up. I love the Redskins. Hail the Redskins. We got a backup quarterback. We got Colt McCoy now. We got no shot. We won't win a game the rest of the year with Colt McCoy.
I'm not going to say that, but
Eagles are coming on. Eagles are coming on. The Giants are playing better lately.
Wait, the Cowboys are coming on.
They're frauds.
With the Cowboys.
They're frauds.
Yeah.
But they're better than us with Colt McCoy.
The Eagles are coming on, but the Cowboys beat the Eagles 2 weeks ago.
Well, but if they played again, I think Philadelphia's got
If
it.
the Queen had balls, she'd be king.
All
This
right.
got nothing to do with this. They played.
I'm not going to give the Cowboys anything.
You just said they're coming on. 2 weeks ago, the Eagles beat the Cowboys.
We're going to see
at their house.
We'll see how good the Cowboys are coming on. Now, you beat the Saints tonight on Thursday Night Football, then you're coming on.
But no, that's not a favorite because right now the Saints are one of the best teams in the league. Period.
They are the best team in the league.
So even if the Cowboys lose to the Saints, it depends. I'm looking to see how they play against them because that's real competition.
How many wins do you have to win the NFC East? I think 9-7 wins that division, and maybe by a game, maybe 2 games.
Yeah, I think you probably win.
They're all 6-5. Philadelphia's 5-6.
You can probably win it at 500. It's possible.
I know.
500.
Redskins won't win another game. Eagles are going to beat them twice, so that'll give them 7 wins. I think they can win. I think the Giants are definitely out of it. But I think Dallas, all they need to do is beat a couple of these job guys they got coming up. Or they're not going to lose. They're not going to beat the Saints.
And we've already beat the Eagles, so really,
I wonder if they play them one more time. I wonder if do they play? They have to. But the thing
we
is,
play them again, but
in Dallas.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right now, our fate's in our hand. We already got the first win. Our fate, the division is ours to lose right now. If we just keep winning, we win the division.
I hate the sound of that. But it's reality, though.
But I do feel your pain with Kirk. I feel pain too, because I know Alex Smith. He's a good guy.
Great guy.
I hate to see him get hurt, and that could be a career-ending injury. I hated seeing that. And I felt your pain because the Redskins have been less than useless.
I got thrown out of a place this weekend.
They've been a part of the Polaroid you tear off for so long that they were almost somebody worth actually having a conversation with the lights on and in public with.
I got thrown out of a family member's.
Weeks and they threw you out.
Thrown out of a family member's house on Thanksgiving Day. I was so disgruntled watching that Cowboy game, and I've been told I can't come back.
Yeah. Speaking of family, an unofficial member of the Carolina Panthers family died this weekend, leaving the game at 3:30. Her name is, let me find out here, Debbie Babinek. She was crossing West Moorhead Street with her husband at 3:30, and she got hit by a car. She's a diehard Panther fan, huge Panther fan. She was actually, part of a organization, I think they call them the Pantherettes. Like, just diehard all in. Was leaving the game, and got hit on Sunday. She died on Monday. So, rest in peace to her family, Panther Nation. You lost a diehard fan there.
And on that note, we'll take a break. We've got NASCAR. We're going to wrap up the Joey Logano and his championship.
About time we talk about some
and we got the Hornets. We got more here on Talking About Sports from the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed and unmatched customer service.
All right, welcome back to Talking About Sports. We're here at the Dilworth Neighborhood with Kevin Tolbert. You're showing me Joey Logano's house. That looks like a castle over in England or something, man.
Yep.
Before we get there, Kevin Tolbert's wearing a Charlotte Bobcats sweatshirt. I didn't know they were still around. Did you get that on clearance?
Kevin's kind of a throwback guy, so that makes sense.
I don't even see homeless guys walking around with Bobcats gear. That's how bad the Bobcats are. Oh, they were the worst seller merchandise. Michael Jordan gave him credit for changing the name and going back to the colors. They should go back to the original uniform, the original Lonzo Mourning, Kelly Tripucka.
Well, this is a 30-year thing, so they may come in.
Del Curry.
They may come in and do some special jerseys.
What do you think their record is? Do you know?
I know they're 500.
That's all I needed to know. I can't believe that. I mean, the Eastern Conference is very bad. Milwaukee, I think, and Toronto are the two best teams. I think in the East.
Without question. Kawhi Leonard was a huge pickup. He's doing
a
exactly
traitor.
what we thought they were going to do in Tampa.
He's a traitor.
He
but,
did exactly what they were going to do in Toronto.
Well, he's a traitor, but he jaked it for a year with us and stole some money.
Well,
But
that's who we thought he was.
yeah, he's a crook, man, and maybe he'll get what he's got coming one of these days. But I think Boston has talent, but they haven't shown it in the win column. They have a very good coach. They have a lot of good talent, a deep roster. The Wizards are absolutely dreadful, and they're saying anybody's available. Well, John Wall, good luck getting rid of him with $42 million a year, and he's disgruntled. Bradley Beal, who's a good player, they've been a very big disappointment. Indiana, solid mid-pack team, and the Hornets are competing. They said they were even interested in Bradley Beal. They're interested in talking trades to give somebody take some pressure off Kemba Walker.
Yeah, and I think right now I think the Hornets are overperforming. I think they're starting to find their rhythm. They're trying to find themselves. I think Tony Parker's been great in the locker room. They're playing some good games. They're playing close. They're not losing. They're not getting blown out. They have good showings night after night after night.
Miles Bridges playing very solid ball.
Miles Bridges is going to be a stud. Hopefully Monk can come in and contribute because for a while he was. So hopefully he can keep contributing. I think Tony Parker's been huge in getting the front court together, the back court together.
He's instilling confidence, and I think his contributions, from what I'm hearing, are good in practice and around Kemba Walker and some of the other younger guys that provided the winning Spurs culture with winning and being a solid fundamental performer.
Exactly. Now they need that. Now they need that guy that's going to come in and give them an identity. They still don't have an identity yet. But at least they got one part of it taken care of. And apparently getting rid of Dwight Howard was a great move.
He's got an issue with he's had some no, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. No, he's got problems. He's got heat in the locker room. The problem with the Charlotte Hornets,
he was trying to get some heat in the locker room.
Hold on. He had problems with the Hornets locker room. They traded him or got rid of him to whoever, to Brooklyn. They bought him out. He's with the Wizards, hadn't played a lot. And so that could be contributing to why the Wizards are so bad. But there was a rumor going around that Dwight Howard had some issue with a transgender person. Is that, if I'm reading that, if I read the story correct?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
Now, he's denying it, and his people are denying that. But I mean, but the individual in question was very clear,
very vocal. Very clear, very vocal.
Seeming like they provided some screenshots of some actual exchanges. So
so it could be. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. How people live their lifestyle. I'm not judging anybody's lifestyle. Live the life that you want to live. I'm not judging, but it's going to be interesting. That was a headline I didn't expect to see.
No. What do you think? LeBron James and the Lakers seem to be rolling. I think they're the Warriors are faltering. Can you name the number one team in the Western Conference right now?
Nope.
And it's shocking to me. The Los Angeles Clippers.
The Clippers, really?
They have the best record in the Western Conference.
But the Clippers they've been the cousin. They've been playing pretty good basketball for a while.
Steph Curry's been out for Golden State, give him that. And they've had some disgruntlement between Kevin Durant and Draymond Green.
Well, you knew that was coming. You know the two dark-skinned guys are eventually going to have a problem.
What does that have to do with it?
It's gonna have somebody had to be the king dark guy. But
oh my God, man!
I'm team dark skin, so I can say that. But
all right, but you're saying it, not me, man.
But here's what. But if you get people that are winning all the time, eventually
Kevin Durant's a Redskins fan. I'm with KD.
Eventually, somebody's gonna start having some animosity. It's just eventually there's too many stars on that team. You can play together for a while. Now Kevin Durant's got a ring. So now that's off his back. Now it's like, okay, not all these guys have rings. Now it's really about what's in it for them. Yeah. They really have nothing else to gain.
Our friend
Kevin Durant's going to be a Hall of Famer because that's just a popularity contest.
Sure. Oh, he's got stats too.
Yeah.
And rings.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Curry's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Thompson may be because he's right there next to.
He's got a lot of stats.
Steph, so he may be.
And rings.
So these guys really have nothing else to play for. Now it's like, what's in it for me? So at some point that experiment was going to fall apart.
Well, Kevin Durant, like I said, a Redskins fan. Our friend Chandra Tyler, NBA insider, we like her coming by here, talking to us, big Oklahoma City fan. She doesn't like Kevin Durant because he left Oklahoma City. She calls him a cupcake. But I think he's more now he's a Redskins fan. And he's putting up MVP of the finals, and he's a great basketball player. Now, I bring up the Lakers because LeBron James and the Lakers, he says I think he tweeted or put something out on Instagram about he hopes Coach K is still coaching when Bronny, his son, is coming out going to college. Now, is that, and Stephen A. Smith, I think, today said that's an unfair advantage that Coach K is coaching the Team USA because it gives Duke an advantage in recruiting his son.
Well, and there's some truth to that. I mean, there could be some truth to that. It's kind of like when Oregon had all those jerseys they were jumping out all the time. I think that was an unfair recruiting advantage because kids were being influenced by that.
Well, Ohio State used to give out free tattoos, and that didn't seem like a break. Oh, here we go, Will. We got
we got some broccoli.
Got Steve coming in. We got
well, we got the food coming in. Shout out to
food. We got
Sarah
broccoli
Jean Thomas, Herman Toe. Shout outs to my boy Herm, always the chocolate rocket tuning in. Oh, we got some.
Remember the Charlotte Checkers had a guy. What was his name?
Ooh, that's
Sean Wheeler was the head coach. There you go, Will. I know you like those crab cakes.
Oh yeah.
Sean Wheeler was the coach of the
Yeah, I've been trying to eat keto, but
here you go. You got the mic. You got a mic down there, Steve.
Right here.
You go down here.
We got a mic for you right here.
Steve, tell us what you got. Have a seat now and join us here real quick. Kevin Tolbert's going to bring up.
What's up, boys?
Hey,
my man. How you been, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing pretty good.
What we got to eat here? It looks good.
Doing a couple of specials today. Did a little our Carolina burger. We had some chili downstairs, so
right.
I had them throw it on top, make a chili cheeseburger.
Right on.
Nice and delicious. Clog all the arteries. Our award-winning crab cakes here.
Award-winning.
Award-winning right there in the middle.
Right.
And this is our fruit special for this afternoon. We're doing a chicken Alfredo pasta, a little bit of broccoli in it.
Looks
Comes with
awesome.
2 pieces of garlic toast. We've been doing different specials each day, so it's definitely something to come check out, and they've been excellent too.
Big ACC championship Saturday night. I'm expecting a packed house here as always at the Dope Neighborhood Grill.
Should be fun, guys. $5 flavored vodkas on Saturday.
All right, thank you very much. Now, Will, you were going to talk about the possible unfair advantage of Duke and Coach K coaching. Not now; he's the former coach of Team USA. Greg Popovich is the head coach of Team USA now. So, I think LeBron's good, a smart enough guy, businessman, good people, and apparently there's a good feature going on with his group of guys that he grew up with and how they've emerged as an entertainment, athletics juggernaut. Like it's more than I forget the name, but it's something more than an athlete because it's more than just LeBron. It's the people he surrounded himself with.
Yeah, but still, all their eggs are in the LeBron basket.
Oh wow!
Yeah. They jumped on the LeBron bandwagon. I mean, apparently they're decent business people, whatever. But when you got such a sought after person as LeBron, it makes doing that kind of work easier anyway.
Right.
It just does.
All right.
But sometimes I see they've been doing some good things. They've been some good business guys. But again, show me what you're doing for other athletes outside LeBron. Because LeBron could have hired anybody.
Maybe they can branch out to be agents for other guys. LeBron wants to maybe buy the Cavaliers if they become available, or any team that they become available. He's amassed a sizable amount of capital, and maybe he could partner with other like-minded individuals and buy a team if it comes on the market.
Yeah, when you got guys like Warren Buffett, your rookie year, you're sitting out hanging out with Warren Buffett.
Wow.
Guys like that are going to teach you the ins and outs of business, big boy business, upper level business. That's going to increase your network of people around you. So I'm not really surprised that anything that LeBron James is involved with isn't going to be huge. Because again, he's not one of these guys. He's not having babies all over the place. He's not getting in trouble all over the place.
No.
The most controversial thing LeBron James did was leave Cleveland.
Twice, but
Right.
for a second time, everybody knew it.
Right.
No
and
problem.
And beside that, the most socially controversial thing they're involved with was his mama sleeping with his teammate. So
allegedly,
that's not his fault.
I know.
So
I forget that guy, whatever his name is.
Devontae West.
He's not in the league anymore.
But he's been a clean player. He's been a guy that, like him or hate him,
I like him.
He embodies what you want a basketball player to be. He lived up to the hype coming out
Number
of high
one or
school.
two, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think, Will? We got a new NASCAR champion, Joey Logano.
Yes,
and the Penske Racing crew. Not only did they, 4 guys went in on the last Sunday at Homestead. 4 guys had a shot, and 1 guy could win. All you had to do was finish above the rest. Joey Logano said, the best way for me to win is win the whole race, and he did.
Hey, nobody gives ahead number 1.
And I kind of think that that late race caution with Keselowski, his teammate, somebody for Joe Gibbs Racing, I think Denny Hamlin may have been on to get Kyle Busch another shot. That's the rumor. A lot of people are speculating that they got him another chance to get out another pit stop. He got out front, but Kyle's car wasn't faster than Joey's car.
Yeah, Joey just had the class of the field that day. He just was what it was. That was his championship that day because that car came out of the hauler fast and stayed fast and faster than everyone else. So tonight he gets to get the victor goes the spoils.
What's happening in the banquet, right?
Yep, NASCAR Awards banquet tonight, and I'm proud to say NASCAR champion Joey Logano will be wearing a William Wilson tuxedo. So again, like that.
Clint Boyer has a suit, right?
Clint Boyer's got one. Kurt Busch. Matter of fact, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Matt Kenseth, pretty much everyone who's won a NASCAR championship in the last 5 to 10 years has at least one article of clothing from William Wilson Clothing in their closet.
I'll say this, but other people could freely say you are the clother of champions.
All right, and that will be officially able to say. I got a lot of clients with rings.
Can you trademark that and give me a cut off that action when you do that? Since I'm a smart guy,
I need to look that up because there may not be someone that says the clothing of champions. I got to check that out.
Remember me when you're depositing all that money.
I give you a tie and a nice ratchet belt.
How about a blue blazer? That's what I really need. How about a whole thing? All right, there you go. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I tell you what. Now you mentioned Kurt Busch. Where's he going to race next year? Has Kurt talk to you about that?
I don't know.
And I need some pants. I'll wear shorts, but I got a few. I got some pants. I just need a shirt. I got some shirts. I just need maybe a couple ties, a blue blazer, and I'll trust Will. Whatever he says, I'm gonna go with because that's all I need to know.
Yeah, but
don't be cussing off air, man.
Yeah,
he's dropping some.
I'm gonna call my pastor because Kevin over there using illegal, colorful language.
That's not a language I sponsor or appreciate. But where does Kurt Busch going to race next year?
I don't know. Anytime Kurt's got this going on, when Kurt and I talk, I may say, "Hey, you got the plans for next week?" He'll say, "No, he's entertaining some offers, whatever." But I don't want to know. I like to find out when the fans find out. Plus, that way, if somebody ever gets leaked out,
can't blame you.
I'm not involved in it. But he's a champion.
To me, he made at least the round of 8.
Yeah.
So he's one of the top 8 racers in NASCAR. To me, if you're looking for a driver, here's a top 8 guy. By the way, he's a former champion. By the way,
yeah, to 2004, and not to mention, on top of it, he's going to turn Furniture Row Racing around to allow Martin Truex to go there, and then they'll win it. Plus, afterwards they also partner with Joe Gibbs Racing, so he's basically racing for Joe Gibbs Racing under another team's ownership.
Somebody told me, a guy whose NASCAR racing opinions I think value, he said that Joe Gibbs is charging more for the alliance fees, which drove Furniture Row out of business. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, NASCAR is an ugly business. People don't realize. They think, just a bunch of old rednecks riding around in circles. No, NASCAR is a legit multi-billion-dollar business, and these guys are fighting for 10, 15, $20 million sponsorships. Mm-hmm. So, and Joe Gibbs knows what he has. Joe's one of the power. He's one of the big 3.
Yeah.
There's Hendricks, there's Joe Gibbs Racing, and there's Stewart Haas.
Yeah.
Well,
Penske.
But Penske's either feast or famine.
Right.
They're a 3-car team now. For a while they were just a 2-car team.
Who's their other guy? Gilliland?
No.
Blaney?
No.
What's his name?
Drives the 12 car. Is it Eric Jones?
No, he's with Gibbs. Drives the 20.
Blaney.
Blaney. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Dave Blaney, right? Ryan Blaney, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's limited money,
and he's won a race.
They're all winners.
All the guys that won this year.
So I like the fact. I mean, I just don't want to see, and as a Redskins fan, and I know Coach Gibbs. I knew him from his first Redskin run. And my good
assistant coach at the University of Arkansas,
and our good friend Ronaldo Wynn up there at Joe Gibbs Racing. I'd hate to think that he's muscling anybody out of the sport.
Look, I have a friend of mine, but
all right, you got a final thought as Kevin Tolbert's wrapping us up?
Just final thought: tune in tonight, watch the NASCAR Championship, then turn over, watch my Cowboys beat the Saints. That I hope they win. But either way, you can see what Joey Logano debuting his new William Wilson tuxedo in front of the world.
That's what I want to see. And I guess I don't know too much about it. Michael B. Jordan is calling out Roy Jones Jr. So, and by the way, stay tuned to ADSN. We've got
Mike don't know that.
We got we cover a lot of boxing with. And by the way, Lady Tappa, I got your back forever. I love you and Big Red. Y'all do a great job promoting the fights and your career. Thank you very much. And tune in for ADSN. We're covering the ACC Championship this week, our boxing coverage, and all. We're here with the Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. Thanks to Kevin Tolbert, William Wilson. I'm Kevin Casey. So long for now.
This is killing my keto diet.